How many of you love going through TSA? Oh, raise your hand. Shout me down now. I know TSA is terrible, but it's necessary, right? Now, I've been through TSA quite a few times in my day. And I remember one time I lost my ID, and I didn't know you could travel without your ID, but you got to get a thorough check. I'm talking thorough. And I was a little nervous, but we got through it. I got on my flight. But TSA is like a layer of protection so everybody can have a safe flight, right? And I was thinking about Psalm 91, one of my favorite passages in the Bible, and it's all about God's protection over our lives. And then I started thinking about the stars. You're like, Neely, what you talking about, brother? Is it just astrology? You talking about? No, I'm talking about like just the stars in the sky. I start thinking about like, God, you've given us so many things to look up and look to you for, and to remember your promises. Every promise in the Bible, there's a premise, right? And I started thinking about what God called Abraham to. He's like, look up in the sky. Look how many stars there are. If you can count them, that's how many descendants you'll have. And I started thinking that there's a lot of stars. So I started doing some research, okay? I became a doggone astrologist by the time I was done with this. So there's actually 200 billion trillion stars in the universe. 200 billion trillion. And the sun is the biggest star in our galaxy, right? So it's the largest star in our solar system. It's in the center of our solar system. It makes up 99.8% of the mass of the entire solar system. And get this, without the sun's intense energy, there would be no life on Earth. Isn't that crazy? Without the sun's intense energy, this ball of fire that keeps on burning and burning, that never consumes itself, there'd be no life on Earth. And I was thinking about this layer of protection, like I mentioned before. And, the sun provides light, which is good. It provides UV light, which is good unless there's no layer of protection. And you know what that layer of protection is called, class? Do you know? Come on, science, nerds, geeks like myself. It's called the ozone layer. It's a layer of protection. It's a shield. It's like a film. And the only thing that weakens that protection, that layer of protection, is pollution. I was like, Lord, are you talking to me? Huh? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I was thinking about, God, what do you mean by pollution? Well, pollution actually weakens the ozone layer, and it causes the UV light to shine through, to harm the living things on the ground. And I was like, man, God, what are you saying? I think he's saying that pollution that's in our lives is causing that layer of protection to erode. It's not that God's not good. It's not that God's not powerful. It's not that God he doesn't love us. He does so much, and he wants to protect us and keep us, but we have to stay under this covering, stay under this layer, this ozone layer of protection. And what weakens it is pollution. Maybe it's sin in our lives. Maybe it's disobedience, something that we don't want to do, that God told us to do, that we're holding on to. I don't know if you've been there, but I've been there, definitely, for sure. Maybe in there now. So I'm starting to kind of do some excavation in my life and like, God, dig up whatever I'm holding on to that's not of you. Maybe you're doing that the same thing where you're like, God, Psalm 91, I want to stay under your covering. I want to dwell with you under your layer of protection, but I need to remove some things out of my life that's pulling me out, that's pulling me into harm's way. What in my life is causing me to move away from God? And how can I say yes to God and be in obedience so I can move closer to him? Just a thought. I'll think about it. I know you'll think about it too the next time you look up in the sky and count the stars. It's nearly time on NGEN.